It's been 1 second. Man, I was just thinking about how many captures I have that I need to upload. Thank goodness my parents have unlimited internet, I think. Probably. I'm sure they do. Right? Yeah, probably. Whatever. Faster than my internet back at home, just not unlimited because two guys can't use that much internet, probably. Alright, let's play another traditional draft. We're on a Beldrain. We've been on a bit of a hot streak. Red seems to be the thing that every other person is playing. I would like to play something else. I like grind your archetypes, but if red's always open, I'm gonna play red because I want to win. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Let's crack this pack. All right. So our rare is pretty. Switch the view. Our rare is pretty lame. Pyramid is not an exciting card. There's not usually super strong artifact. Like, I mean, this would be a fine sideboard card, I suppose, in a blue deck if your opponent was playing a lot of, like, really good equipment that you wanted to take. I don't know. You still have to pay for the equipment. And there's not, like, a ton of enchantments that are bonkers, so it's kind of just like a meh card. Venerable Light's fine. If we end up playing another Boros Knights deck, this will be great. We'll have had it. Everything else in the pack is kind of lame. I mean, Covetous Urge is obviously extremely powerful, but it's super restrictive, right? So you can only be played in a blue-black or blue-black deck, basically. Or one that's leaning so far one way that you're doing like an 11-6 split. This is a very strong effect. And then Elite Hedgehunter is not a very impressive knight. I haven't been too impressed by this. And then all the commons are fairly weak. Kind of the best commons are like Foreboding Fruit, probably, which is pretty sad. So I think I'm going to take the Venerable Knight, and I hope everyone's enjoying my Boros draft channel. I never thought this would be me, but I guess it might be. Well, I'm gonna follow up the Venerable Knight with Sir Alan. Ardenvale Tactician is also extremely strong, and I would take it here if it wasn't for Sir Alan. But Sir Alan being a 5-drop is, it's expensive in an aggro deck. But if this is one of few expensive cards, like, if this is, I think this is probably weaker than Sirkara, but this is like equivalent to like the sort of slot that fills. Like that's the card that when it comes down, if it comes down and it sticks, and you get to untap with it and attack. You feel extremely good about your chances. This is an extremely good pack if we were going to play like a Boros deck. There's also good blue cards here too. But I mean, Sir Alan is just the best card in this pack by a little bit, not a ton. There's a lot of actually strong commons in this pack. And we already picked a white card before, and a white knight, and a card that has knight synergy, so, Sir Alan is probably the pick here. Okay, well, seems like white's the thing. Trevor LeFloc is a good card. Being able to like save your own cards from death, or it's just a 2-mana 3/1, which is totally fine. It's great. Like the safety this can bring is awesome because if we're in that state of the game where we're like, oh, we played Sir Alan, and then our opponent's just like begging to a buy, being able to save Sir Alan for 1 mana and have our opponent fizzle a bake into a pie can be really helpful, right? Or just, help us win combat. If, not win combat, but help us protect us from losing combat, from, like, bouncing after a combat trick happens, or blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of ways this card is good, which is why I'm taking it now. Oh, Probable Alliance pretty late. I guess we're playing Izzet now. No, probably not. I don't think Improbable Alliance is dim enough that I want to take it now after not seeing... Oh, I did see some blue, I guess. No, actually, this is crazy, but I might take it here and just see what's going on. Because we did see, because we passed a lot of blue, which doesn't bode well, with blue coming back in pack 2. And there's not a lot of blue in this pack either. But the pack's fairly weak. Fairy Guidemother is fine and good, and it's probably the card I should pick, but I don't know. We'll take the Improbable Alliance here just because it's not a huge loss to our deck if we take it here, and also if we could draft not Boros or not like mono red aggro or something. I think that'd be just more fun for both me and possibly you. But it seems as though we're living in a world where we're going to go ahead and pick the Occam Ranger. Maybe we're doing a mono white thing. Wandermare is also extremely good, but Occam Ranger has a higher chance of making our deck at this point because we're currently mono white. And it's also a knight. This isn't the best knight card. I really hate how Bring Back is so expensive. It makes quite little sense to me. I think that a 4-mana 2/2 that Anthems, if you tap, is fine, but like, why? Is it because it Anthems that they made the Bring Back cost 4 mana? I'm not sure what they were thinking, but Wandermare is pretty good. We get into a Selesnya deck, that's totally cool too, but I haven't seen like a bunch of like, Wandermare is a good payoff card, but I also don't have like, I have one adventure card now too, and Wandermare is fine, of course, but I want to take the Occam Ranger over it, I think. Interesting. We kind of have a bit of a go-wide thing going on here. Silverflame Ritual is not super good, but this pack is quite bad. Idyllic Grange is also in contention. This card is not good, but if I was playing mono white, I would play like one of them. I would probably even play two, just because the risk is so high. Because if you're a mono white deck, you're probably a little bit more aggressive, and any tap lands like really gut you. But these come, I mean, both of these cards come super late, but I think that this is a card that almost makes our deck more often. Like, I'm really down on Idyllic Grange. Like, the payoff for the risk you incur is you get to put a counter on a creature, which, I mean, if you put it on the right creature, can be pretty meaningful, I guess. You know, put it on Sir Allen, that's pretty sick. Put it on a Youthful Knight if we pick the lever, put it on a Flyer, that's pretty sick, but it's like, I don't know if we'll play mono white. We're 4 picks in. It seems like this would be kind of a liability, and this would have maybe slightly higher chance of making our deck, although it is bad, and I would probably cut it fairly aggressively. Okay. So, Occam Ranger might be out, because this is really ready to play Grimdark Knight. There's a late Merchant of the Veil. It's like Forever Young, actually, but Mill is not as crazy anymore, so Forever Young is a little bit less of a mill prevention card and more of a, like, I'm going to grind you into dirt card. Which is fun. I do like it, but I haven't seen a lot of powerful black cards, so Grimrock Knight is a lot more powerful than Forever Young, I think. And red is always open now, I guess. So I'll take the Rimrock Knight. Occam Ranger might not make it, but we'll see. It's fun. Probably the Bloodhaze Wolverine. Potentially we could take off. I don't know. Like, it just seems odd. Opt is a fine card, but I don't think it's like that good. Blazing Wolverine probably just fits our deck a little better. But yeah, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of like green going on, so I don't think Occam Adversary is gonna make it. Pretty weak. Like no like bonkers commons are really wheeling, which is unfortunate. What Insatiable Appetite? I might take Insatiable Appetite over the Knight of the Keep just in case like we do pop back into green in like pack 2 or something. Just Knight of the Keep is really like, oh, these are good cards. It's a shame I have to pick between these two late. I think I like Silverblade Squire more than like Fairy Guidemother, actually. I really like the combat tricks. Like, I don't know, when I play aggro decks, like, I prefer to like blow my opponents out with like something like this rather than just like lift something in there and push the damage. Obviously, I'll play both of these cards very happily, but if you're asking me to choose between the two, I think I have a slight favor to Silverblade Squire. Merchant of the Veil is fine too, but we're not super interested in that sort of effect over just like a solid pump spell like Spellflame Fire that can blow out the opponent. So pick that up here. Pretty easy outflank in my opinion. Curious Bear is fine if we're considering the, you know, the white-green thing. It's not particularly aggressive, which is problematic. Obviously this fits better in a food deck despite it being an adventure. But I think outflank will, because we're probably going to play white no matter what, so I think outflank just works better or is also quite powerful. I like this card and it makes our deck a lot more often. Gingerbrute is probably better than both these cards, but it doesn't have a lot of synergy in our deck. Just need Knight. I don't know, Crystal Slipper. Midnight Clock. I don't remember when I could play a lot of blue. I might take the Arcanist Owl here and see if we can continue on with this, like, mono white thing, you know? We only have 2 red cards. And if we ended up being, like, you know, 10-7, I would consider the Owl. And there's nothing else really that exciting in the pack for us. So I think we'll take the Owl here. Another Shepherd of the Flock. It's pretty good. But a Scorching Dragonfire is probably better. Like, I'm not going to bend over backwards to stay in mono white necessarily, because we don't have a lot of mono white removal options. Like, we passed the Ardenvale Tactician for Sir Alan, and then we didn't see like any traps in the towers or anything. And I don't want to be in a position where I have no ability to interact with my opponent's creatures. So despite having 2 mono white hybrid cards, I think I will take the Scorching Dragonfire here, because I think overall, if we can get like a few good mono red, or a few good red cards that are like good removal, we'll be happier playing that deck than playing mono white that has no ability to interact with our opponent. So, take Scorching Dragonfire here. Well, we got a Silverflame Squire. I like Flutterfox. We might play Jousting Dummy. I don't think we'll play Gingerbread. It's a 2-2 that flies if you have something in play, which is pretty good. We have the 7 Dwarves, which did pretty well for us last time, but I'm not going to speculate on that. When there's other stuff in the pack, I would probably play. I really like the Silverflame Squire. I don't know if I like it more than Flutterfox. It just seems so unlikely that I ever cut these from my deck, but also Flutterfox you would never cut from your deck either. What's the curve? Do I have... I got a few 2-drops going on. Like, I'm not in danger of, you know, having too few 2-drops coming down. I think I'm going to go for the Silverflame Squire. I don't have a ton of, like, artifacts yet, so I would want to have, like, more... I don't know how I would do it, but in a Boros deck, but like I would just like to have more like artifacts in my deck before I pick Flutterfox over the Silverflame Squire. Rampart Smasher. Okay, well, we got a Searing Barrage. That's pretty exciting, and I'm pretty happy to, again, go into Boros here, because the removal of Searing Barrage is very good for an aggro deck, because, you know, 5 tough distribution comes down. That's what really bugs me. Got a little unicorn. Totally fine card. Yeah, again, as much fun as it was to play the 7 Dwarves last game, I don't think I'm going to say we've seen 2, I think, 2 in this. So, although I haven't been looking, so maybe a few years past this by, but like I'm not willing to, you know, pick 7 Dwarves over cards that are probably better on level, on what's the word? On rate, just in case I don't get a million 7 Dwarves, you know? But, you know, starting around this point in the pack is when I'd be willing to take them. Ooh, my pet card, Frosty the Wilds. We've taken so many white cards, I cannot imagine that Frosty the Wilds works for us. Basically not. Way less cards than last time. Though, we don't really have anything. There's nothing else really that interesting in the pack for us. Fortifying Provisions would be an okay sideboard card against, like I said, like other aggro decks that might just be more aggro, and we need to be able to pair against our toughness against their power more favorably. Is that good enough to take it over to the Frosty the Wilds? Maybe. I mean, Frosty the Wild isn't good in a non-human, or in a mostly human deck. So we probably take the sideboard card that actually works for our deck right now. Probably from the Throne's not bad. It's not super exciting, but I mean, we have good synergy. We have like Sir Alan. If we end up going like very heavy white, so enough that we play Occam Adversary, it's pretty good. Works well without flank. Works well with Silverflame Ritual if we play it, but that's a very cuttable card, so I'm not going to make much choice in that. Now, Brimstone Trebuchet, you know, we have how many knights? 2, 3, 4, potentially 5, 6. Not a ton. Also, Unicorn might also just be better than Rally for the Throne. I'm not super interested in gaining life. Lonesome Unicorn. Let's check the curve again. I mean, both of those things happen on turn 3. So the Lonesome Unicorn is kind of like 3-drop as well, and it's the Brimstone Trebuchet. I might take Rally for the Throne. We'll probably be fairly heavy white. We might be like 10-7. We'll probably be able to fairly reliably cast this. We'll see. Youthful Knight probably here. Again, will be primarily white, if reasonable. And it's just 2-drop with 2-1. That's first strike with 2-1 is pretty good. Ogre Errant, of course, is probably the second pick there. Well, these cards don't excite me. I'll take Gilded Grange for the sideboard, or not the sideboard, but for our maybe board in the event that maybe we open like a lot of extremely good white removal in pack 3, and then we could maybe decide to go mono white. Raging Gridcap here. It's a knight, works well with other cards. 6-7 Dwarves now. We only have to get a few more for it to work out. Probably don't play any of these cards. I don't think I would play 2 of these on the sideboard, but another 7 Dwarves. Maybe we will just kind of stumble our way into having that again. Not bad. I mean, it's a rare, which is cool, and it's a white rare, so we can play it, but it's not like a super exciting one. It does a lot of different things, which is cool. Scrying 2 is awesome, but like, it's not a bomb rare. It's not Harmonious Archon sort of thing, but we will probably pick it up here. Oh. We got Trapped in the Tower, which I will probably pick up, because it is decent white removal. Oh man, shame about these green cards though. Not a ton. I'll probably take the Barge in just because even if we have a lot of humans, it is still like a decent trick. It tends to actually work fairly well in this format, I found, even if you don't have humans, or even if you mostly have humans, just like a 2-2 combat trick, like you don't mind having that in your deck. You're not excited about it, obviously. You'd rather have like Rimrock Knight sort of effects that are attached to stabilized creatures, but hey, it's cuttable, but pretty much every card in this pack is cuttable. Drulov's Kiss I might take as a sideboard option, because we do not have ways to deal with, what's the word, artifacts or enchantments, which could be pretty impactful for Prayer gets one, for opponent gets one big mythics, or just like 8 good equipment could be impactful. So maybe better than Barge in our mostly humans deck. Probably take Thrill of Possibility here. Again, even if it's not like what we're doing with the deck, I'm happy to have one of these in our deck most times. I'll probably take the Youthful Knight over the first Brimstone Trebuchet. We don't need Brimstone Trebuchet for our decks to work. Youthful Knight can really, do a lot of work, especially with combat tricks. We got a couple Silverflame Squires. We got a Rimrock Knight. Putting counters on it with Silverflame Squire if we play it. Sir Alan pumping it is extremely good. Like a lot of good stuff for Youthful Knight. Might take the Barge in here, just because. Not sure if it makes the deck, but definitely a card we can play. Oh, do I take the third Silver? Or this third Youthful Knight? That's an interesting choice. Youthful Knight's very, very, very good. Probably. I mean, Youthful Knight is the sort of thing that we want to have for Silverflame Squires to pump, right? We have 2. Why not play this guy? We have Rimrock Knight to pump it. We have Ritual, Sir Alan. Maybe we do have enough that we would rather have the thing we want to pump rather than the thing that pumps, another one of at this point. It's a tough call. I mean, like, even with First Strike, this can get outclassed fairly quickly, which Silverflame Squire helps prevent. But I think that, just want this, we have a few pump spells, so we play Okame Ranger, that's another thing. I think maybe the Youthful Light is better. We have enough pump spells that I think that we can pass on the Silverflame Squire, as much as it breaks my heart, because I really like that card. Oh, thank goodness. Take another one here. Not a ton of good stuff. Maybe the second barge in. I don't know if we play it, but is it better than a Jousting Dummy? We already have a Jousting Dummy. We don't have any Flutter Foxes, so like we're not trying to take artifacts for any reason other than maybe the Arcanist Owl, which we might actually play. Maybe that's good enough. Maybe it's better enough than barge in here. Ways to deal with, mess with combat, or just kind of remove a moment's threats currently are outflanked. Silverflame Squire, so we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That seems pretty good. Probably good enough that we just want another creature, even if we don't play it. Now, shoot, we probably don't need 2 True Love's Kisses, but Red Cap Raiders does work really well in our mostly white deck. This seems bad. Might be a better sideboard option in case we're against like a really aggro deck, and like playing a 2/5 or a 3/6 on turn 4 can really help us out, but I don't see it. Take the second 4/5 provisions. Delivery. Fill the thing. Okay. Not a super exciting draft. Like, we have some rares, granted, but I think we got Shepherd the no wait, not Shepherd, Charming Prince rather. Other than that, we didn't really get anything like Barokin. That was too interesting. But it's okay. Not every deck has to be completely insanely busted. Okay, we gotta make 2 cuts out right now. What are they gonna be? I actually don't mind these in the deck. We don't really have anything good to go mono white, so that's not on the table. But I was noticing that we do have like 5 red cards that are, but all the 5 red cards we have are like good cards. Probably the weakest is the Thrill of Possibility. The real shame is that 3 of them are like early drops, so you want to still have a decent amount of mountains to make sure you get those plays, because the more planes we have, the better these become, or the more reliable these become. Silverflame Ritual actually good in our deck. I mean, it's not bad. Gingerbread I don't like that much. It's not terrible. We got 3 first. We got 3 Youthful Knights. We got Raging Red Cap. We have a Flyer. We got more pump. Like, it might actually be not too bad. We rally for the Throne as well if we keep a Silverflame Ritual. And other stuff. Maybe the second Jousting Dummy. We do have a lot of 2-drop creatures, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That seems probably good enough for an aggro deck. I might actually hold on. My guard is a possibility. I think cutting a red card is probably a good idea if possible, because less of a liability with this land split. But I think this is okay. These 2 suckers probably don't come down on turn 4 all that often, but I can see maybe turn 5 like that happening fairly frequently. And having the Jousting Dummy number 2, I guess, makes this a little better. It's fine as is. Like a 4-mana 3/3 is totally fine. But I might get a little greedy, perhaps, and do that. See how that works out for me. Because I basically only ever need one mountain, so like one mountain in the hand is pretty, pretty easy keep sort of thing. And I only ever need to draw one. And our deck does a lot, It's fairly unlikely that we'll be stranded with these in our hand with nothing else to do, because we have so much white mana, right? I think this is probably a fine split. I mean, it's another Boros deck, that's for sure. I'm not sure what it would take to get. I guess this one was mostly white though, so it's not like red was wide open, and that was why we got into this deck. But I mean, the new bots. I mean, I'm doing better at All-Train, but I am playing a lot of aggro. But that's not terrible. It's kind of it seems kind of fun. We'll see how it works out. Yeah. Anyways, we'll save this for later. And I should probably, while I'm here, go ahead and upload a couple videos while I'm just kind of bumming around my house drinking my coffee this morning. So, see ya.